The business of professional sports is not a sisterhood. It is a ruthless, unforgiving arena driven by pure market forces. In this environment, every athlete is ultimately judged by one undeniable measure: market value. You are either the engine that drives revenue, or you are simply a passenger relying on someone else to move the game forward. For nearly 25 years, the WNBA functioned like a league full of passengers, operating while reportedly losing hundreds of millions of dollars and relying heavily on financial support from the NBA. Despite this reality, a faction of veteran players developed a strong sense of entitlement, believing themselves to be global superstars. When a true revenue engine finally emerged, when Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court, shattered viewership records, and brought unprecedented attention and money into women's basketball, the reaction from some veterans was not appreciation, but resistance. Instead of welcoming the momentum, critics argue they attempted to seize control of it. What is unfolding now goes beyond a normal labor negotiation. The Women's National Basketball Players Association is reportedly threatening actions that could jeopardize the 2026 season of the Women's National Basketball Association. Their demands, ranging from higher maximum contracts and expanded benefits to a proposed 50% share of league revenue, are being framed by some observers as aggressive leverage against ownership. Veteran voices within the league appear to believe that the surge of new fans in women's basketball is loyal to the union, and that the threat of a strike gives players ultimate bargaining power. But that strategy has faced a major narrative challenge from a very player many believe transformed the sport's popularity. Without public feuds or dramatic statements, Caitlin Clark has shifted the conversation simply through her actions. By appearing at United States Women's National Basketball Team training camp and thriving in the international spotlight, she has demonstrated that her brand and influence extend far beyond a single league. For many observers, this moment highlights a dramatic shift in leverage. The WNBA arguably needs Clark's star power to sustain its current growth, while Clark's global profile allows her to succeed on multiple stages regardless of league politics. Footage from the Team USA camp shows an environment focused on competition and global exposure rather than internal disputes, presenting a sharp contrast to the tension surrounding league negotiations. To supporters of Clark, this moment feels less like ordinary sports news and more like a powerful statement, proof that the sport's most valuable asset can operate above the conflict that currently surrounds it.
They're kind of doing some drills here. Let's see them cook up for a little bit. Chelsea, no look to Caitlin. Side dribble. Main thing is they're enjoying themselves, man. I love it. Okay, Angel to Stu, easy work. It seems like Caitlin is hanging with Kelsey a lot. Paige always yelling. Paige yelling about anything these days.
Listen to the energy inside that gym. The atmosphere is filled with laughter, excitement, and a sense of pure joy. There is no visible tension, no corporate drama hanging over the moment, just elite athletes enjoying the game at the highest level. In that setting, Caitlin Clark and Breanna Stewart can be seen alongside the next generation of American stars, competing, smiling, and shouting USA on 3. It reflects the peak of their athletic careers, players who are highly paid professionals, yet still clearly passionate about basketball. The environment appears collaborative and energized, a sharp contrast to the increasingly heated labor tension surrounding the Women's National Basketball Association. That contrast becomes even more striking when placed beside the ongoing labor dispute between league leadership and the Women's National Basketball Players Association. Critics argue that the public narrative around the dispute has been filled with frustration, accusations, and constant speculation about a possible work stoppage. Union leaders have pushed for significant structural changes, including larger revenue shares and expanded benefits for players. At the same time, reports of internal disagreements, including leaked letters and calls for transparency appearing in outlets such as ESPN, have added to the sense that negotiations are tense and complicated. In this climate, Clark's calm and upbeat presence on the international stage sends a different kind of message to sponsors, broadcasters, and team owners. That star power combined with positive momentum can be a powerful driver of the sport's growth. Her visibility with the United States Women's National Basketball Team also highlights how individual athletes can shape the public narrative around the sport. Supporters argue that Clark represents a marketable, drama-free superstar capable of drawing massive audiences and global attention. Critics of the current labor strategy claim the conflict in women's basketball is less about systemic issues and more about internal disagreements within a small group of veteran players concerned about shifting influence in the league. From this perspective, Clark's decision to focus on international competition rather than engaging directly in public disputes has positioned her above the conflict, reinforcing her image as a global figure in the sport. The broader debate ultimately centers on market value and leverage. In any negotiation between players and owners, both sides must prove their value to fans, broadcasters, and sponsors. Some veteran players attempted to demonstrate their independent drawing power through alternative competitions, such as unrivaled 3x3 Basketball League, a new venture backed by high-profile players including Nafisa Collier and Breanna Stewart. The goal was to create a separate ecosystem that could attract viewers and revenue outside the traditional WNBA structure. However, early reactions and viewership comparisons sparked debate about how much of the current surge in women's basketball popularity is tied specifically to Clark's presence. Injuries to players such as Aliyah Boston during off-season competitions also fuel criticism that some of these ventures carried significant risks. All of this leads to a larger question about the future of women's basketball. What happens when the sport's biggest draw steps onto the floor? Many analysts argue that when Caitlin Clark plays, television ratings spike, arenas sell out, and media attention surges. For supporters, that phenomenon reinforces the idea that she has become the sport's most powerful economic engine. As negotiations, new leagues, and international competitions continue to unfold, the contrast between collective bargaining battles and the excitement surrounding the game's biggest stars will likely remain one of the defining stories shaping the future of the Women's National Basketball Association.
Mind you, look at the teams while y'all looking too. Look, Angel knocking them down, dog. I know it's quick. Caitlin with the game winner. Caitlin with the game winner, dog. Got the stun on him. Come on, man.
A single moment can capture the entire business logic of modern sports. Caitlin Clark hitting a dramatic game-winning shot. For many analysts and fans, moments like that represent the kind of star power that fuels massive television deals and global attention. When a generational talent produces highlights that instantly go viral, league executives and owners inevitably think in business terms: audience growth, sponsorship value, and long-term market expansion. Leaders connected to the Women's National Basketball Association, including Adam Silver, Kathy Engelbert, Joe Tsai, and Matt Ishbia, closely watch moments like these because star players often become the economic engines that help justify billion-dollar media agreements and sponsorship investments. This dynamic has become part of the broader conversation surrounding tensions between the league and the Women's National Basketball Players Association. As negotiations over salaries, revenue sharing, and player benefits intensify, some observers argue that the league's biggest stars carry significant influence over how the sport evolves. If a labor dispute were ever to disrupt a season, it would affect players and teams differently depending on their individual market power and endorsement opportunities. While most athletes depend heavily on league salaries, global stars often have multiple revenue streams through sponsorships and international competition, giving them more flexibility during uncertain moments in league negotiations. Clark's growing profile illustrates this shift. The former University of Iowa standout entered professional basketball with unprecedented attention, record-breaking college viewership, and major endorsement deals with brands like Nike and Gatorade. Her popularity has brought millions of new fans to women's basketball, many of whom began following the sport because of her performances. That surge in attention has naturally reshaped media narratives and commercial strategies across the league, as broadcasters and sponsors attempt to capture the growing interest surrounding the sport's newest superstar. At the same time, the generational shift has created tension between established veterans and a rapidly changing fan culture. Longtime players helped build the league during years when exposure and financial support were limited, while the newest wave of stars enter the landscape suddenly experiencing record ratings and major sponsorship deals. The contrast between those two eras has intensified debates about recognition, revenue distribution, and the future direction of the league. For some commentators, Clark's calm approach, focusing on competition and avoiding public conflicts, has strengthened her reputation as a global figure who can rise above the sport's internal politics. Ultimately, the debate around women's basketball reflects a familiar pattern seen throughout sports history. When a transformative star emerges, the entire ecosystem, players, owners, media networks, and fans, begins recalculating value and influence. Whether through dramatic highlights, sold-out arenas, or viral social media moments, Caitlin Clark has become central to that conversation. As negotiations continue and the sport expands globally, the balance between collective bargaining, veteran leadership, and the commercial impact of new superstars will likely play a major role in shaping the future of the Women's National Basketball Association.
It's special for you. Man, I think, this is every kid's dream. I think I wrote it down when I was in like 3rd grade. So I'm just excited about this opportunity. And I remember Kara Callan talking to us, like when me and Paige, and I know AB isn't here, but even I played with Ryan on the U19 team. Like on the junior national teams, there's only going to be like a couple of you that end up making it to make a senior debut. So whether that's the World Cup, whether the World Cup qualifier, whether that's, the Olympics, every single part of it and part of the journey is really special. So I know we're a ways away even from the World Cup and obviously a ways away from the Olympics, but this is still really exciting in itself and kind of
In her public comments, Caitlin Clark struck a tone of humility and gratitude, describing the opportunity to represent the United States women's national basketball team as every kid's dream. Rather than engaging in controversy, she emphasized respect for the game, appreciation for the journey that brought her there, and excitement about competing at the highest level. By presenting herself as a focused professional and a student of the sport, Clark projected an image of calm confidence on one of the biggest stages in basketball. Supporters argue that this approach effectively counters narratives that attempt to portray her or her fan base in a negative light. Instead of responding to criticism or internal league disputes, she has largely kept the spotlight on competition, teamwork, and the global growth of women's basketball. Her international presence also shifts attention away from the tension surrounding the Women's National Basketball Association and the ongoing negotiations involving the Women's National Basketball Players Association. While discussions about salaries, revenue sharing, and the future structure of the league continue, Clark's participation in major international competitions highlights a different narrative, one focused on elite performance and global exposure for the sport. Events connected to international basketball qualifiers attract significant worldwide viewership, giving players a chance to compete in meaningful games while representing their country alongside some of the best athletes in the world. At the same time, the broader debate within women's basketball remains complex. Veteran players have spent decades building the foundation of the league, often during years when media attention and financial rewards were far more limited. Now, as new stars emerge and the sport experiences unprecedented popularity, questions about recognition, revenue distribution, and leadership influence have intensified. Some commentators interpret the tension as a clash between generations of players navigating a rapidly evolving sports economy, while others see it as a normal part of collective bargaining between athletes and league leadership. Regardless of the internal politics, Clark's rapid rise has undeniably transformed the conversation around the sport. Her games consistently attract large television audiences, packed arenas, and global media coverage, reinforcing her reputation as one of the most influential figures in modern women's basketball. As negotiations, international competitions, and media deals continue to shape the future of the Women's National Basketball Association, the contrast between intense business discussions and the excitement generated by star players like Caitlin Clark will likely remain at the center of the sport's evolving story. Many fans are now watching closely to see how these dynamics unfold and how the next chapter of women's basketball will be written.